Hello, back again. I do hope Gary is joining us, but he seems to have disapproved. I think I've got my camera in the wrong position. It's very weird. That's back. I think we're back. Good evening. How many of you saw my little mini live challenge earlier? I ranted on rather a lot. I hope you enjoyed that. It is one of the biggest bugbears, I think, that it is getting tired now. It's tiresome. And I think that you as owners are were not aware. You were blissfully unaware of all of this that was going on. And now we've brought you into the arena. Not only have we brought you into the arena, we are now bringing professional. They are bringing themselves into the arena to try and fight back. They've got nothing to fight back with. There is no evidence in any of these peer-reviewed papers that we were talking about that what they're saying in terms of most hoof care issues are down to just bad luck or genetics, etc. This is down now purely down to understanding how poor hoof care is, and we've been banging on about this for absolutely forever, and you're seeing it on a daily basis. If you're part of the Phoenix group, you are seeing it over and over and over and over and over again. So it's very, very important that we don't let go of this. And if you've gone, please do go and watch my latest It's Not Rocket Science lessons, part 1 and part 2. I split them up because they were quite long. You poor things. So part 1 and part 2, talking about how old hoof science, I shouldn't have called it hoof science, in fact, because there's no hoof science there, and versus rehab proof. Now people go, oh, of course there's hoof science. Go and have a look. Honestly, go and have a look. You can Google it, Pollitt's papers, you can Google any of them, and ResearchGate, there's a place to go. You can go and find their papers, and you can have a look, and you can drag your way through them. Here he is. He's arrived.
Hello.
Hello. Oui.
I talked far too much on the 10-day.
Tell us more.
I had to chuck something down my throat. Oh my goodness. Lovely ladies. I love doing them. Isn't it a great idea to meet up with these lovely people that have parted with their hard-earned cash and got so much out of it? It's just it's part of the thing that keeps us going. Tell
those of them that don't know, watching, what you've just been doing.
So this is a group call that we do. It's every fortnight, isn't it?
Every fortnight on a Thursday or a Saturday.
Or a Thursday or Saturday, so we can get into majority of time zones.
Yeah.
So it's always done on a Thursday evening or a Saturday morning. That's obviously our time, yes. And once people have done the 10-day challenge, they get to come along and have a group call with us, which they can book. So they can book it
for whenever they want it. Yeah,
exactly. But it's every fortnight, and then we have a wee get together. We find out.
It's hardly we. It's normally a bit longer than we get together.
It's quite long. Get together. Yes, this one was at least an hour and a half. It's supposed to be an hour, but it never is. And yeah, you've taught me well. I can talk well. It's so nice to meet these people. And such a wide variety of people that there was a lady there, Kirsty, who is gaining her confidence with the tools, but she's got a farrier that is realized that what he was doing wasn't helping and was quite open to doing what she said. And that seems to be a partnership that is working really well. And
that's good. That's
well,
unusual.
That's great.
Well, that's
unusual, but it's great.
Yeah.
Then we had and all of these people are from the States.
Yeah.
Then there was another lady that She was a vet nurse.
Yeah.
But she's had a child recently, so not doing that. But she does equine massage, physiotherapy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we had a lovely conversation about how unbalanced bodies are, particularly when they're in shoes and the hoof care is not right. And she says, "Oh, it's opened my eyes." And she's got a problem with one of her horses that she's getting help with, so she's going to send me pictures. I'm going to offer her a little bit of support. And then there was
and also that's an additional part of this, isn't it, Gary? That when people take the 15-day and then go on to the 10-day challenge and they go on this group session, then we do offer some additional private support through photographs. If they want to send us, they've got like a direct line to us.
Yes, of course. And as things grow, that would be direct lines to other instructors too. As things that's our plan.
Yes.
Then we might be able to semi-retire.
I don't think they'll let us.
That might be that might be, not that I want to, but that might be when we're 85.
You'll still be wielding a rasp.
Yes, maybe. And then there was another lady, and she has she's got a track, she's got Shetlands, a couple of donkeys, and she'd been following other barefoot methodologies, shall we say? And she's been trimming her own horses since 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So a long time.
Yeah, right.
And she knew all about Jamie Jackson and Pete Ramey and all of them. And she said, "I stumbled across you on social media in January of last year." I said, "Oh, you must have been one of the first."
Yeah, yeah.
And she said, "I changed my style of trimming to your way, and all the things that I was doing wrong, I put right." And she said, "The proof is in the pudding."
Yeah, proof is in the hoof.
The proof is in the hoof. And she just
the
said,
proof is in the bare hoof as well. Not
yes,
the proof. The proof is in a trussed up, shod, wedged, padded hoof. The proof is in the bare hoof.
And she said, "I was a personal preference trimmer and I chop toes."
Right.
And she said, "And I haven't done that for over a year. And the way that my horses are moving," and this was what was really nice about this group, because you had this lady telling the vet nurse lady that is doing the physio, and she says, "And I've been sending videos to my physio, and my physio is absolutely thrilled. He doesn't have to come and see me. I haven't seen him for a year because my horses are actually doing their own physiotherapy themselves, because they've got the feet that they've got the feet that they need by following Mother Nature's constants." And basically, she said, "I got it wrong for 25 years."
Yeah, yeah. How many times, Gary, do we get to the end?
It's not uncommon that we hear that, is it?
No,
it's
but
really not.
And how many times do we get to the end of that group session and we start talking about, or 3/4 of the way through, and we start talking about hoof balance? And when people think they've got it, and they haven't, and then we talk about it in detail, and you watch their eyes going, and their faces lighting up. Now, how many times, even from hoof care professionals, we've heard people say so many times, "I've been doing this job for years and I have no clue." That frightens the hell out of you and me, doesn't it? Because we're like, how can you
not do that? How can you not know that?
How can you not know that? That's the fundamental of fundamentals of hoof care, the biggest fundamental of hoof care. And yet people just don't. They've not had a toe pillar to balance to, because they've been taking toes off, and so they're balancing to God knows what. I mean, God knows what. You know, it is a shocker. And I think, you know, while you were doing the 10-day, I was there on the mini live, ranting and raving about how what the
Yeah,
future
sorry,
is.
I couldn't watch that today.
Not at the same time. Not at the same time. I was ranting and raving about the future of hoof care and how we are leaving old science behind, which is on the back of also my part 1 and part 2 rocket science lessons.
Yeah.
You know, and it's an easy target, isn't it? When we use words like Mother Nature, constants, nature's parameters, it's an easy target for those people who desperately want to tell us to shut up, and they kind of imply it's woo woo, don't they? They imply that this is all woo woo. Oh yeah, Mother Nature. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, it's like, oh, do you think you're that big and bold that you can do better than nature? No, I said something like it's like a bird jumping off a bridge or a tree and soaring down on the thermals, compared to a bird that you chop its wings off jumping off a bridge or a tree. It's going to plummet to the ground. You really cannot ignore nature. You have to work with it, not against it. The moment that you do, shit happens, and that's what we are seeing everywhere. Anyway, should we do some shout outs? I haven't done any yet. Should we say hello?
So yes, let's do some shout outs, and then I've got a little. Well, I got a little bit of an update. I'm not going to show you videos. Well, you've seen it, but we can tell them about a little bit.
Everybody loved that live on Tuesday, Gary. Everybody talking about it. Everybody talking about how brilliant it was. It was so good.
Oh, good. I just hope that, and I didn't say it on the day, and I should have done. Thank you to the people that I went to see for allowing me to do that.
Yes.
Because it's really important.
Oh my God.
That we get to share these really, when these people have been so let down by the professionals, and how it can make such a difference in such a relatively short amount of time.
And it's really hard, isn't it? Because we have to respect confidentiality and respect our own.
And before we went on live, my whiteboard, because normally my whiteboard has the name and the horse's name and all of that was taken off. The name was a name, and all of that was on the x-rays. I hid all of that. I'm not having my clients being battered by people on social media. It's not happening.
But these things have to be shown. They're so crucial.
They do. It's so important. So crucially important.
Both calls I did this evening when we were dealing with similar situations, both said, "Oh my God, I really learned a lot from that lesson or from that live the other night with Gary and seeing the change." One of them said, we were talking about, she was lowering heels and then talking about how the foot looks now different and the foot seems it's going out this way now instead of being upright. And she went, I never thought about it before until I watched that live the other night. That it's not changed in length. It's still the same, but it looks longer.
It's just playing with shapes. And those shapes, we can change the way that shape looks. But so many people think that pedal bone that is like that, as soon as you change the shape, it goes like that again. It doesn't. The pedal bone's not wafting around in there and doing all sorts of funny things. It's just
and we said to somebody just the other day,
right, out like that. It grows out like that. That takes time. And when we put everything back into position, it then has to grow back out at a more natural angle. And then when it grows out of that natural angle, that is when the healthy hoof pastern access comes into play.
Which is only
you cannot
ever right.
force it.
No,
you cannot force it.
Right, and it's only ever right on a healthy foot. And somebody who is very well known on Facebook, who has a big following, he's a farrier, and he's got a huge following, actually said to us, but when P3 is put back in the place and you lower the palmar angle, the sole doesn't, that it can't be, because the sole doesn't suddenly get thicker, and I don't see it going back to the dorsal wall. And you and I just went,
of course it doesn't.
Please tell us that's not what you thought that actually happens. Please, God, tell us that sole has been reduced. It's not been squashed. It's been reduced by your knife. At which point he went, no, it isn't. And we went, yeah, separation doesn't happen overnight. It grows separated. It does not. You're like, oh, God.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
God. Oh, God. And the reason you don't know that is because you've got no evidence to the contrary. And yet we have. It's you know, it's like taking a foot that's rotated, putting it back into the right position, Gary, and then taking another x-ray and showing that separation, because it's still there, and the thin sole is still there, but we've now put P3 into a better position, and the horse is like, oh, thank God, thank you so much, I'm that's a relief. And they x-ray and they go, oh, that's laminitis. You're like, no, we're recovering that now. P3's back in the right position. There'll be no more stretching, but that has to grow out. And if, from what you were saying earlier about, you know, you guys, about the DDFT pulling P3 through the capsule, we've now put it back in the right position. There's still a load of stretch, but it's going to grow out. Horse is feeling more comfortable. Why doesn't the DDFT just continue to pull it through the capsule then? Just does it at a certain angle, does it? Doesn't do it at a lower angle, just a higher angle. It's like, come on. And they will hide behind this for so long. They'll be going, no, it can't be true. Why, Gary? Because they have many clients on their books that have had laminitis with P3 rotation, and they've been let off the hook.
Or I have another theory, and this will probably get me into trouble. But
already in trouble. I wouldn't worry about that.
I feel mischievous. I'm feeling mischievous this evening, and I haven't even had a drink.
Go on,
I'm just high on life. All of these things that they tell us that happens to the horse's foot is theory that has never been able to be proven.
No.
So the mischievous side of me is going to tell all of those people that are telling the world contrary to what the horse is showing us.
Contrary to true science.
Contrary to true science, yes. Guess what? The horse and its foot didn't read your bloody papers.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
Oh.
The horse and the hoof did not read your bloody papers.
Isn't it
Get alive.
Absolutely. Isn't it incredible that they think that they know better than Mother Nature? And Mother Nature didn't read any papers. She wrote the papers you forgot to read. That's all there in the foot. It's all there for you to see. You just got to follow it. All of this, let's raise the heels by 2 inches, or let's take the toe off by whatever. Let's try and get an HPA. It's all arbitrary stuff that puts your horse's foot off balance. And then the shit hits the fan inside.
Yeah. And that may not be straight away.
Oh,
it starts to creepy, and it might be months or years down the line, but oh my God, there is a change.
Oh yeah,
you just haven't seen it. Open your eyes, and unfortunately the horse has not read the books or living by the papers.
Read the peer review papers. I have, and probably far more than you have. and go and have a look. I was saying, Garry, that they've looked at the lamellae. They looked at the lamellae. They gave overdoses of oligofructus, whatever, black walnut extract. They saw the damage begin to happen, and then they did a Blue Peter moment. That's what I said. Blue Peter went, this is one I did earlier, and so they did that, and then they went, poof, here's a rotated P3 in an X-ray, and that led to that. Did it? Can we have the bit in the middle, please? The bit in the middle that took us on that journey to that. Oh no, we don't have that. Right.
Can we have the? This is.
Right.
We don't want that. Here's what I prepared earlier.
That's
we want
right.
to see the evidence from where you started and where you ended up. Let's fill in that gap, please.
Right, and
let's have that evidence because we're proving to the contrary.
Absolutely, 100%. Right,
well,
let's.
We're not. It's not about us. We're not proving it. The horses are proving it.
The horses that didn't read those peer-reviewed papers are proving it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so Erin's here from Ohio. Hello, I'm going to buzz through them because we've got loads of comments. Stella's here. Garvin Ranch is here. Susanna Shides here. Carol's here. Marianne Caffrey. Jeanette.
See you tomorrow, Marianne.
Bonsoir. Pia Pepper. I nearly called you Pia Pepper. I like that. Pia Pepper. Tara's here. Or eat me loveries.
Hi, Tara.
Angela Garberg's here. Bonsoir. Melanie's here. Double live day of the best days. Double live day. Malin's here. Charlotte's
here.
Malin. Shannon Shipper's here. Hi again. Taking a break from trimming to listen. Northern Alberta is warming up nicely. Plus 2 degrees today in the sunshine. That's great.
Nice.
TG's here. Tracy Gray. Hello. Hi. I like that, TG. Jane McCall's here from Australia. Dawn's here. Hello again. Dawn is saying, is there anyone from mid to North Wales here? Well, shout out if you are. Leah says, hello. Monica's here from Czech. Angie Medler's here from Virginia. Camilla's here. Hi, all. Ulrika says, hi again. Never be afraid to be an outsider. Oh, no. Don't be afraid to be the odd one out. That's, oh, no, don't be afraid. Jenny Ackerston's here. You're not anymore because you're with us. Marianne says the mini live was awesome. Thank you. I give Garry. I went off on one.
Oh dear.
I was on fire.
Well, we must be both of us, even though we're about 500 miles apart from as the crow flies. There must be something in the air being a bit mischievous.
That's right. Therese says, hello, Gwen. It was a great mini MIDI plus extra live. Met is here. Hey, Gail's here. Dawn says, hi, Garry. Nice to see you and see you again, Lindsay. You're very welcome. Jeanette says, when I bought my first horse 13 years ago and kept him barefoot, the yard owners laughed, as did the other owners. Egg on their face. I left the yard, but now see that all their horses are barefoot. No, how interesting. Pia says, oh, I need to book my group call. I have been saving for my last days in 10 days. Get on and book it. Megan says, hi, guys. Made alive. Yay. Ah, look, Christy Ruggles is here. Hello, I was with Christy today. You did great.
So was I.
Oh, were you Christy, as well?
So I think Christy's had you, and then Christy's had me, and then she couldn't have done the mini live because she was on the group call with me.
Well done, Christy.
Are you not fed up with us yet, Christy?
Christy's learning curve's gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely, with her lovely pony Lucy. Tara says those new rocket science lessons are great, and every owner and vet would benefit from watching them. You have to watch them by going. I'm going to take off my preconceived coat, my preconceived ideas coat, and I'm going to leave it at the door. And I'm going to leave all my bags of cognitive dissonance, and I'm going to leave them at the door. And I'm going to leave all my rucksacks of confirmation bias and leave them at the door. And then I'm going to come in and go, okay, then slap me with it. Let's hear it. And that's what needs to happen. They need to just let go of all that crap and start again. Start again. Start again. Anne says, I had my HMP Pro today, was chatting about yesterday's chat about the super high hooves you did, Garry. Great discussion as she missed the live last night with her. You're telling the pros. She'd be like, oh, I know.
See, the pros have got to keep up. They got to keep up.
Then we've got Sunshine says, yeah, I made it to alive. Yeah, I made it to alive. No school due to snow. Sunshine says, I second the lady you're talking about. My horses are long trotting and cantering, even across the gravel driveway without flinching when I turn them out to run. That is absolutely brilliant. Sandra's here. Hello. Bethan's here. Hello from Goresworth Track Livery.
Hi, Bethan.
Good to see you here. She had us on the big screen the other day.
I know, I saw a picture. I still can't get used to that. It freaks me out.
It's weird.
It's bad
Tara,
enough on a little phone.
I know. Tara says, where has the common sense gone? Where indeed, Tara. Thank you both so much for all your help and wisdom today. You're very welcome. It's great to meet you. And
welcome.
Stephen. It's great to meet Stephen. Stephen's her son. I met Stephen.
Oh, nice.
I still want to ask my 8-year-old language student to make a video to explain physics. Oh, yes. Yes. Angela Garberg says, Tara, the problem with common sense is that it's apparently not so common, especially not in the equine world and site. That's the problem with common sense. It's not very common.
It's not very common.
Ulrika Bolker says cognitive dissonance. There you go. That's what I went through when I found Lindsay on YouTube. I got triggered. I took off the toe, but I got over it and used logic. Some people cannot do that. It is triggering. We know that. And that's why we get such a lot of hate, actually, because it is triggering. Because if you've been doing it for a long time and you've been told that that's the only way, there is no alternative. That's it. And, laminite diet is what's causing all the problems and not you as a person, as the trimmer. Then that's hard. That's really, really hard bitter pill to take. So I totally get that. Bethan says, it's great to see the horses rock back once we've got the heels down. It must feel lovely for them to be able to get their weight back onto their heels instead of the tip of P. Oh, my God. Watching them lean back into their heels again. And you can just see their whole bodies going, can I? Oh. And then we move on. It is amazing. And I tell you what, and Bethan knows this now, it's addictive, isn't it, Garry?
Oh, it is. You feel for the animal when you're actually, because they struggle to hold their feet up when you're having to do this.
They do.
And it's really not their fault. It really isn't. And it's almost that they've got this thing about you. Just, you know what? You're just, it's going to sound wishy-washy and voodoo and weird woo-woo. And it's almost that they just know that you're there to help.
Yeah. We feel that a lot, don't we?
Yeah. You just get.
They try hard.
They do. And then when they want to put their foot down, you let them.
Yeah.
And then you give them a little bit of a scratch and say, have a rest. It's all right. I do. And then you ask for the foot and they go, oh, all right, go on then, because it's starting to feel a bit better.
It's a buzz. It's a buzz.
It is. But you know that what you're doing is the best. And it just comes with experience and confidence, doesn't it?
It does.
But don't, for the naysayers, because this goes out on YouTube, don't mistake confidence for arrogance.
No.
It's not arrogance. It's experience. It's what it is. And
if you've always done what tradition tells you to do, which is the wrong thing, and then you come down and you go and you do what we're doing, it is only then you start seeing that all of those papers where they talked about P3 rotation being caused by the bond of the laminae breaking is not true. P3 cannot move. It grows into that position from awful unbalanced hoof care. And the only way you know that is by seeing the X-ray timelines. And sadly, you guys, with that big chunk in the middle of science that you missed, you didn't talk about hoof care. You didn't talk about trimming. You didn't talk about who trimmed it. You just went from here, laminae being affected, to here, P3 rotation, and just scrubbed around the bit in the middle and went, it's got to go from there to there. So that's the only way you can do it. But you literally have to take a hoof capsule that was perfectly normal with P3 in the right place, as they did, overdose them, and then watch chunk, x-ray, chunk, x-ray, chunk, x-ray, chunk, and watch that foot change. And they haven't got it. And millions of horses have lost their lives and are still suffering from that big bloody hole that they've not got no proof. And they'll never get it because, of course, it's anatomically impossible. Contact Sadder is here. Hello Zoe here from Denmark. Good to see you, Zoe. You are doing a fantastic job. Thank you. Georgie Williams. Bethan says, I've got a lady who's messaged me with a horse who has rotation only in one foot. Here you go, Gary. Another one only in one foot. And I've seen the x-rays myself. When you look at each x-ray, you can clearly see that the foot with rotation has a higher hoof capsule at the back. And they've been over thinning it at the front. And the 2 feet look different. And therefore P3 inside is different. Why can't they get that? I mean, so basic. It's so basic. It's like, you know, when you used to do those tracings in the churches when you were a kid and you were taken off to do those rubbings.
Yeah, rubbings, yeah.
It's like you get a child, you could get a little kid and you could say, you know, trace the foot, trace these horses' feet, boom, 1 foot. And the next one, the kids would put them together, you go, are they the same? They go, no. Yeah, human beings go, yeah. Like, no, it really isn't. No. So, and another part of that comment with Bethan is that what are they saying? So in one breath, the only breath, they're saying diet management's causing lamini failure, which is causing P3 to rotate. Okay. So if they've only got that in 1 foot, how did it do that? How did it just go, we're going to just give the right fore laminitis, but we'll leave the left fore and the 2 hinds low. No, I won't touch those. We'll target our laminitis just to the right fore. What? Oh, God.
It's so funny. It's not funny.
Wow. Georgie Williams says it must feel as good as taking off high-heeled shoes. Absolutely. Yeah. And Tara says, does it ever bring you to tears when you see the relief in those horses? Yes.
That brings me to a little bit of an update. Like I said, I'm not going to show the videos because I'm protecting my client. So was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember.
Well,
it was in the morning, wasn't it?
Thursday. You sent it to me on Tuesday, I think.
Yeah. So Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Go on.
No, I think it was Tuesday morning.
I think it was. Because we said it was only 2 full days.
It was only 2 full days since I did that trim that we talked about on day 128. So that was on Tuesday. And the owner got to her pony and she was up on her feet and she was pottering around, much more comfortable. Obviously, this is not a I'm totally sound, of course not. But oh my goodness, the way that she was moving, her back end was starting to free up. And to answer your question, Tara, do you ever come to tears when, because Lindsay and I were talking about something else and I said, I got to finish this off, I got to show you this. And then, yes, Lindsay was in tears when she watched the video. She was.
Does it a lot? You can't not.
Yeah, you can't not.
You feel for
because
these
you
souls
just know how much pain and discomfort that they were in.
They're learning to walk again.
Yeah.
Oh God. It is. That's the addiction. That's a huge addiction. And we didn't come along and spend. Gary didn't come along and chop into the foot and then spend another hour wedging the foot back up again and taking more toe off or nailing on a Stuart clog or none of those things. None of those things. We are simply giving horses their true foot back again. And it's a profound, incredible feeling. And of course, incredibly devastating when we come to horses that just have gone too far.
Yes.
They are the very well, I say they're the very extremes. Unfortunately, I wish I could say they were rare. They're not rare, but they are the extremes, but they're not rare. They're reasonably common. Because owners have kept going with these horses for years, going up and down with their soundness, haven't they? And they don't want to give up on them. And each time they get a new professional, and that new professional promises them the earth, they may get a little bit better or not, but then it doesn't maintain it. It doesn't continue. They just go up and down until eventually they just get bad again. And always that owner is trying to fight in that horse's corner and keep going for that horse or pony, and meanwhile it's just chronically suffering. It's so sad. Oh yeah, Tara says supporting leg or supporting limb laminitis. Maybe he'd join that circus. So any supporting limb laminitis papers, what they should be doing, and frankly, how are you going to test that? Ethically, what are you going to do? You're just going to wait till some vet phones you up from different places in the world and says, "Oh, I've got a horse that is damaged its other leg and now it's standing on one leg. Would you like to come and put it into your experiment?" Yeah. Do you reckon they're going to do that, or do you reckon they're actually going to tie horses' legs up and make them stand on one leg? What do you think? These are people who have no worry filling horses up with enough to put them into tachycardia and colic and die a horribly painful death. They've no problem with that. So you're telling me they're not going to have a problem with tying a horse's leg up and making them stand for I don't know how long on one limb to try and work out what's going on? And every time you hear about anybody talking about supporting limb laminitis, they talk about the hoof capsule. Not ever. They're talking about blood circulation. They're talking about pumping. They're talking about the loading and unloading of the foot, the hoof cycling. But they're not the fact that it isn't because it's static, but they're not ever talking about the fact that the hoof grows. and if that horse has been put on a trajectory of imbalanced hoof care, that hoof is going to grow imbalanced. And what does that mean to P3 inside? Well, I'll let you work that out, shall I? Laura says it is. I'm the same. Always have a happy cry. Yeah, we've had sad cries too, but hopefully we have more happy cries than sad cries. Tara, it's emotionally draining, but so rewarding. It makes my heart burst, and yet tears do flow. And Bethan and Jan will be the first to say, just like us, it feeds because we know so much about what we do now. The next case that comes in feeds us, doesn't it? I know that sounds really not right, but it's true. And it's Bethan's the same. You almost get, don't get me wrong, we're not doing this in a voyeuristic-y kind of, oh yeah, look, another one, let's look at that. We're not doing that. We're doing it, here comes another one. We are so excited to turn that animal's life around, and another owner who becomes open to it, who becomes enlightened. That's the buzz, that bit. Here it comes again. And like Garry always says, and like I always say, horses have constants. Therefore, it's consistent. The damage and the problems they have are consistent. Therefore, the rehab is always pretty consistent. We know exactly what is going to happen.
Perhaps on the next live, we ought to prove that as a suggestion. So the case that we showed on Tuesday, maybe show them as that new hoof grows down what that hoof is going to look like. This is our prediction.
Yeah.
We know it. We know what's going to happen. And in actual fact, for the people that are on the Phoenix Way, they already know that what's going to happen.
Yeah, they do, because they've seen it.
Because they've seen it. But for the people that are not, we can predict. Then in months to come, show the evidence and say, see, it's all constant and predictable.
Totally,
always. If it wasn't constant and predictable, we wouldn't get the successes that we get.
No, exactly. Contact Hattery says, do you have any plans to come to Denmark? Would love that. I have space enough to host if you need a place. Absolutely. We will come anywhere in the world, but we need cadaver legs, because
we need legs.
You need to learn on a leg that isn't pulling you around, basically, and that doesn't have that extra. You're not extra worried about the fact it's a living being. So, yeah, if you can source legs, and I know Meta is in Denmark too. If you guys can source legs, then we'll come. We've got a lady at the moment who is sourcing legs and a place in Sweden, so that's looking good. I know Pia has looked into it for Finland. We're hopefully going to Czech at some point. We're definitely going to Germany. That's already done and dusted. They were going. There are still spaces on that one. We'll go anywhere. We will go anywhere in the world as long as you can get legs, so that we can teach you correctly. You can spend 3 days. We can do this in a village hall. We don't need a big livery yard or a big special equestrian center. We don't need any of that. We just need somewhere where we can show you some presentations and do some little workshops with you. So we can do it anywhere. But what we always need is unique cadavers, because your learning goes like that. We don't have auditors. We don't do anything like that. We have, you come, you pay, you come and do the lot. You don't just come and watch. We don't do that. That's when you're using live horses in trade. You can't do that in what we do. If we have taught hundreds of owners, haven't we, Garry, over the years? God, so many workshops. If we sat and make ourselves go mad trying to remember all these workshops that we've done, we could do that. We sometimes do. We go, do you remember so-and-so? God, what workshop were they at? Oh my God. And then we try and go through it and go, so many workshops. And that's why, they became so popular. Why the rest of the world, we were putting them on, and everybody around the world, people were saying, please, 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 will you bring them to us? So that's why we made the online challenges, so that people can see what we do on these workshops. Obviously, it's not quite the same, because you don't get that hands-on practical experience with us. But I tell you what, it's close. And then you get a few other little benefits as well, because we put a few other little presentations in there. Anna says, West Sussex, please. Is that West Sussex in the UK? Because I'm just thinking there probably is a West Sussex other place. Bethan, you are amazing. Charlotte, thank you for always being in my comments, supporting us. Yeah, we need it. Support is important. Bethan needs a lot of support, and we need a lot of support. You need to support us, and I know you do, because you're here following us, and it is fantastic. And we couldn't do it without you. But we're bringing people into the arena now. Like I said on my live, now they can't get out. We might give them a hand to help them out, but first we might watch them squirm, which is a little bit of a nasty little sadistic side of me. But we've been pulled through the hedge, backwards and forwards and up and down as many times as you like, and called names all over the internet, and laughed at and scoffed, and still there are those irritating little HMers and Goresworth Trout livery just not going away. Why would they go away?
It's because it doesn't work. What we're saying is a load of mumbo jumbo. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, watch out. It's coming. It's coming for you. Oh, your wife's just saying goodbye. Bye. She's just gone back home.
I haven't
Right,
spoken
Garry.
to her today yet.
Oh, right. Well, I was just going to say, I think we're going to call this live to a bit shorter. I think we should end it now because you've been working hard all evening. I've been working hard all evening. It's nearly 10 o'clock my time. It's nearly 9 o'clock your time. You could give your wife a ring, chill out and watch a bit of TV. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. Not that we don't want to be with you guys. We love you. We love you very much.
Of course we do.
But we are knackered. Saving horses' lives. It's knackering. It's absolutely knackering. Charlotte says HM, TPW, and GTL will never go away, and neither will all the acronyms. We love them.
We do.
Thank you both, says Dawn. You're very welcome. Anna Stockings just says, night, rest up. Thanks so much. We need you, but you need us too. Good night, everyone.
Great to catch up.
Bye.
See you next week.
And see you tomorrow for my lot. Bye then.
Ta-ra.
Take care. Bye-bye. Ta-da.